Will these replace all of these? These are the 3-piece pliers wrench set from Knipex, and they're smooth jaw pliers with parallel opening jaws. Made in Germany, Knipex quality, 3-piece smooth jaw pliers set. The model number on these is the 9K008045US. As I mentioned, these are not only designed and engineered in Germany, but also made in Germany. If you haven't seen these before, these have been out actually a few years now. I think probably 3, maybe 4 years, maybe even 5. I don't think 5. But we've never really premiered them on our channel or really done a review. I believe we've used them on here and mentioned them several times, but never really kind of gone through a thorough review of them, and thought it might be time. Obviously, Knipex is nothing new to the quality of tools. If you're, in any of the plumbing trade, even mechanics, some of the other trades as well, Knipex is very well known for their quality of tools. They're made in Germany. They're a German company. And by the way, yes, it is spelled, or it is pronounced Knipex. If you talk to them, they'll tell you that. It's not Knipex. It is Knipex. Anyway, I get that behind us here. These are the smooth jaw pliers, or as they're saying, they're the pliers wrench, and they're easily adjustable. You just push this button right here and you can lower or open the jaws very easily. They have some sizing right here. Easily see that with SAE on one side and metric on the other. But also you'll see, as the name implies, the smooth jaws, there are no teeth on these jaws. Now, these are not meant to replace a set of, whether you call them channel locks or water pump pliers or what have you, or even, they have their Cobra set of pliers, which are much like these German-made pliers as well from NWS, where they have these angled in the teeth, or these angled in the mouth, and then they have the teeth in here. So these aren't meant to be end-all be-all channel lock replacement, because like I said, Knipex has some regular water pump style pliers that work really, really well. The Cobras, they bite and will put about as much pressure on a nut as almost you would with a wrench, or sometimes even a socket. Here's some more, generic channel locks, or actually these are name brand channel locks, and have a really nasty grip there on the mouth or on the teeth as well. But again, these are the smooth jaws. Now, where are these meant to be used? Well, can they be a replacement for those things? And sometimes the answer is yes, they can be. They can apply a lot of pressure, but really where they're going to shine is in places where, number one, you have maybe more decorative fasteners. So you have some chrome, you have some aluminum, you have some copper, brass, things like that you don't want to mar the finish on. These smooth jaws are going to be excellent at doing that. Even on regular nuts that you don't have to apply the absolute most amount of torque as possible. And the thing is, what this is going to do is give a nice even bite. So you can see what they've designed here in these jaws is not only are they adjustable, but also as you move the handles up and down, these jaws are moving in parallel to the other. So this is the stationary jaw up here on the upper, and the bottom is not moving like this on a pivot. It's actually sliding up and down, staying parallel to the mouth of those pliers. Now again, you may not get the amount of movement in one notch as you would on a regular set, but again, it's because the mouth, the jaws are moving in parallel to one another, as you can see right here. And there you can see that the bottom jaw is biting all the way across the flat. The top jaw is biting all the way across the flat as well. Versus something like this, where if you get the exact location, you might get them parallel, but as you can see where it's biting. It's biting on this end of this nut, because I can swivel this every time I push on it. I can't swivel it here, but I can swivel it here, which tells me the bite is happening up here on the front side and not on the back. So open it up a little more, it's going to be even more so that way. And if I close it down, then the opposite's going to happen as well. So you can see there where I'm not biting on the flats anymore. I'm just on the end on those points. Not only that, those nasty teeth that are meant to do their job and to bite in are also going to cause some damage on the flats of that fastener. Let us know in the comments if you have a set of smooth jaw pliers, whether they're Knipex or not, and also how you would use them. Now listen, most of the time when you're working around automotive, things like that, and you're under hood or on suspension components, doesn't matter, right? You just want the max amount of bite. And this may not be the case for these, but when you're on, you know, the aluminum side of things, and maybe you're working on the air conditioning and, you know, removing a line set, things like that. Now, whether you're in a car or in a home, now all of a sudden you don't want to ruin that aluminum nut or that, you know, specialty nut. And so now you can bite on that and get some good force on it and be able to break that loose or to tighten it. Now, I do want to take a moment to explain also, because I see these misused all the time, whether you've got the small ones, which by the way, I believe these are the 4.5 inch, the 7 inch, and the 10 inch pliers. Yeah, so these are the 40 millimeter, the 27 millimeter, and the 52 millimeter pliers. Anyway, when you're using these, when you're wanting to tighten a nut, or, you know, if we're tightening this nut that way, then we want to have that lower jaw. We want to have that lower jaw on that leading edge. In other words, we want to move this way with the nut. So whether we're breaking it loose or tightening it, we always want to go in the direction towards this lower jaw. That's how these pliers are meant to be. It's how these pliers are meant to be. It's how these pliers are meant to be. And it's how these pliers are meant to be. You want the force to be going in the direction of this lower jaw. That's how it's meant to bite in. It's also, if you'll notice even more so on their Cobra pliers, you can put all the force here on the top arm, which is actually putting the force on this lower jaw, and it makes the bite even that much more force. However, if you're flipping it over and you're trying to go this way, now you're literally fighting against yourself, and it's requiring you to keep force together in order for you to get force on the fastener itself. So you're going to have a much better effect if you're always leading in the direction of that lower jaw, whether it's tightening or whether it's loosening, always your movement towards that lower jaw. Hope that makes sense. And by the way, this is the 6 inch set, not the 4.5. So this is the 6 inch set. This is the 7.25 inch, and these are the 10 inch, which the 10 inch should give us a max opening of right at 2 inches. Yep, right at 2 inches on the max opening of this, and then all the way down to 0. And on the smallest one, we should get a 1 inch of opening. So yeah, actually a little more, about 1.125 inches of opening on the small 6 inch version. And on the 7.25 inch version, we should get right in between at 1.5 inches and opened up. So yeah, a little more than 1.5 inches of opening or capacity on the middle set. And if you just flip them over here on the other side, you can actually see that, where we can actually adjust to where it says right there, 2 inches. The same here, 1.5 inches, and the same here. Actually, these don't have markings on them. The smallest ones do not have markings because the writing would probably be too small. We're going to take our torque gun here. It's set at 150 foot-pounds. I'm going to tighten each one of these fasteners. So now what we have are 4 nuts tightened to 150 foot-pounds. I'm going to see if the 10-inch Knipex pliers, smooth jaw pliers, will back these off. So not one slip on those. Took quite a bit of energy, but we were able to break those free with no problem. 150 foot-pounds with no slipping. And by the way, another area of replacement for these is a wrench. So anywhere you use like an open face or an open mouth wrench on a place, again, you may be able to get more force on an open end wrench depending on which wrench you're using. However, these are going to be able to apply probably just as much or near the same amount of torque, even compared to like a flare wrench as well. So, you know, these smooth jaw wrenches are going to be able to apply a lot of force, and they're going to be also a good replacement for anywhere you use an adjustable wrench or a crescent wrench. In this case, this is actually a crescent adjustable wrench. So even its namesake as well as its functionality. So anywhere you'd use this, you could also use a set of the smooth jaw pliers wrenches. And I'll tell you one more spot where I like to use these. A lot of times fabricating small stuff, I'll use aluminum like this, like 1/8 inch aluminum, and bend some type of bracket or something like that. And when I'm doing that, I'll typically grab a pair of pliers or a crescent wrench or something like that and use that to kind of bite on here and then to bend it, maybe put it in the vise and bend it over. However, like on these crescents, where these actually have teeth on it now to enable, you know, more bite, what will happen is you're going to actually scar it like that. Same thing, this set here, if I got a pair of pliers and I'm biting on it trying to bend it and I turn them at all, again, they're going to put a nasty mark on there, where these, again, I can grab these, make my bends in it, and I'm not going to get near the bite. That was actually from before where I grabbed them with different ones. But just going to enable you to, on those specialty fasteners or when you're working around softer materials, to be able to do less damage on them than you would with regular channel locks or crescent wrench or vise or whatever you're using. Now, I guess the overall point we're trying to make on this review is, number one, these are a great set of wrenches. Not surprised whatsoever. Most of your Knipex stuff is very good engineered stuff, very good made stuff, especially the made in Germany and engineered in Germany pliers, if you will. So they're of great quality. They work very well. They're very smooth operating, but are they the end-all be-all for every wrench? No, they're not going to replace all your combination wrenches. They're not going to replace all your adjustable wrenches or all your water plant pliers or channel locks. But we do think they're a great addition to those, and many times this is a better choice than even a pair of channel locks or water pump pliers, or even the Cobras that Knipex has, or the Cobra copies that we see out there today, much like these NWS German-made pliers as well. So we think it's a great addition to your toolbox, especially when you're looking at not marring something, or maybe trying not to mar something, or just a quick bite on something that, again, you're not looking for a pivoting jaw, but something that opens in parallel like these do. This is a great option for those. So we do think they're very handy and very good to have. Maybe not a must-have for you. Some of you, it will be a must-have for you. This 3-piece set is $160 that you can get on Amazon. We see prices fluctuate depending on where you buy these. If you buy them one at a time, you know, the larger ones may run you $60, $80. The smaller ones may be somewhere, you know, $50 to $70, again, depending on where you get them. But for the 3-piece set, 161 something, $162 on Amazon. We'll have a link in the description if you're interested. If not, then obviously you're not. Anyway, let us know what you think, and let us know what type of pliers you like to use, even if you have a set that are different from what we're showing. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And hey, if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And by all means, if you hated our video, well, give us a thumbs down, but let us know in the comments why. Have a great day and keep smiling.